Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. Today I'm giving a speech on a stroke. And any one of us can have a stroke. This past Thanksgiving, it was my stepfather who'd had a stroke. We all noticed the symptoms, but he was able to explain them away. We accepted his explanations, but we shouldn't have. My purpose here today is to inform you of the signs and risk factors of stroke, so that if the situation ever happens, you'll know how to respond. As young adults, you or your parents will be coming to an age where the risk factor increases significantly. You'll need to know what to do if the situation ever happens. I'll begin by discussing the different types of strokes. According to the National Institute of Health and Human Services, there are 3 types. We'll begin with the ischemic stroke. This is what your brain looks like and the 2 different types of strokes on here. The one we're talking about is ischemic. This is the most common type, and it's caused by a blockage of your blood vessel in your brain, usually a blood clot. 90% of strokes are ischemic, and they're not as fatal. The next type is the hemorrhagic, and this is far less common, however, far more likely to be fatal. And it's caused by a burst blood vessel in the brain, leading to a brain bleed. This was the type that my stepfather had. However, his blood vessel simply broke. It did not burst open as does with the hemorrhagic stroke. This is an image of a bleed from a hemorrhagic stroke. And you can see that the damage is much more severe than it is with a ischemic stroke. And the third one is the transient ischemic stroke, also called the mini stroke. This is just a temporary inhibition of the blood flow to the brain, and it's usually considered a warning sign to a much larger stroke to come. And you should definitely see a doctor if you suspect that you've had a mini stroke. So who can have a stroke? Well, the Stroke Association tells us that any one of us can have a stroke, including children. However, most persons over 55 are at risk. Also, 25% of strokes happen to people who are working age. Next, I will talk to you about the symptoms of a stroke. The most common symptoms are numbness or weakness, especially on one side of the body. Then there are vision changes, dizziness, severe headaches, difficult with balance, trouble swallowing, speaking, or understanding the speech of others. Those 3 symptoms typically only happen when strokes occur in a specific part of the brain that affects our speech and language. There's also drooping of one side of the face. There's an acronym called FAST, and it's Think Fast. And this can help you spot the symptoms or know what to do. Its face is ask for a smile. Does one side of the face droop? Arms, when an arm is raised, does one side drift down? Speech, can the person repeat a simple sentence? Does he have trouble or slur any words? And then time, get medical help right away. Next, I'll go over some statistics. According to the Centers for Disease Control, in the United States, nearly 800,000 people have a stroke each and every year, and of those, 137,000 will die from it. Stroke is the leading cause of death and disability in the United States. Okay, and finally, we have some risk factors to go over. The National Institute of Health and Human Services lists some of the most common risk factors. Those are age, medical conditions, lifestyle, and family history. I mentioned before that age is a significant factor, and anyone over the age of 55 is at a greater risk. Then we have our medical conditions. The most common ones are high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, and atrial fibrillation. Next is our lifestyle, how we choose to live, such as smoking, alcohol consumption, unhealthy diet, and of course being overweight. And finally, our family history. If we have a family history of stroke, our chances of having a stroke ourselves goes up. If it's especially a close relative, such as a parent or grandparent, then your risk increases. With this today, I hope that you've gained a better understanding of what to look for and what a stroke is. Strokes are treatable, and the sooner you get help for it, the better your chances are of recovering fully. Immediate help is key. Thank you all for coming. Hope you have a good day.